This is Yerushalmi Challah on the article Ozbar edition. We're on Daf Lam Vav and Ralph. We are the third line down, Mesi Rabbi Yochanan, which in the Vilna is on the second to last line on Chaf Aleph Amud Beis, Mesi Rabbi Yochanan. And we're asking a question. Obviously, Rabbi Yochanan is asking a question on Reish Lakish. We said yesterday that Rabbi Yochanan holds that Tevel is not Bata Barov, and Shimon Lakish said that Tevel is Bata Barov. So we have a question which from Yochanan on Reish Lakish. How can you say Tevel's Bata Barov? Hey, Rabbi Yochanan Reish Lakish, Shimon Lakish. For then we learn Nota Adam Kidei Chala Meisa. A person could take the amount of challah from a dough, hurma challah, from which challah is not yet taken. Lasosa betara, to do it betara. He wants to keep this dough isolated to make it do a betar. Betara. Lios mafresh levaholech. To mafresh on it and continuously mafresh. In other words, he's going to be mafresh on other doughs from this dough. There's a mission later on, Perek Dal Mishnah Beis, where it says, "Meniach Adam Chelek Meisa Shlo Hurma Chalos Shalos Betara, Nafrishim and Betara Lisas Acheros." I'm not sure if that's cool for the Mishnah, just Leib Yerushalayim paraphrasing it, but in any event. So the question is, according Kaddish Ruba, once this dough which he left and is continuously using Mafish Challah, once most of it becomes Challah, so that point, so let the Tevo be Bata Barov. It's once majority. We shouldn't be able to use the entire dough in order to be Mafish Challah from other Isos. No, once the majority of it is Chulim Metukanim, it's fit. Well, actually, not Challah. Once the majority is Challah, so then that majority of Challah should be Mavatel, the remaining Tevel. And that's it. You should have to stop at that point once you reach 51%. So it says Gemara, what's your shlosh answer? Amar b'roishim. He said something about where you are. You make a roishim, you make a mark. He said, okay, this is challah. Now this is challah. Now this is challah. And there's always a demarcation line, which is clearly demarcating the difference between that which is already challah and that which is still tevel. And therefore the tevel is not bata barov. It's nikar bifnei atzmo, so therefore it can't be bata. Taylor Shukain. Taylor Shukain. You should know this works. The thing we learned over there. This is Mishnah Idmai, Parakeh Mishnah Beis. It says something wants to be Mafish Truma and Truma's Meiser at once from Tevel. You can take 133 and a third, which is shear of Truma and Truma's Meiser, and no, not 133 and a third. One third. It's 3.33. What is it again? It is 133 and a third. What's the 33 and a third percentages? 133rd and a third. That's what I meant to say. 133rd and a third. Okay, so that two of that is the 133rd of a is 3 and a third, right? Because 3 times 33 is 99, and a third is 100, right? So two of these are 100, which is here, remains. I don't remember this case again. So Shir Truman Shemai says the 1/100th is here. Is Tevel next to the 2 100s with a widget. And they should be they should be mice. How does it work again? Ugh. Sorry about this. It's just 3, not 3 a third. So yeah, that's why I was making this up. So the 3 measures, 3 out of 100 measures, 3%. So the 3% is two of those are truma because 1/50th, sheer benini, and the remaining 1% is the Trumas Meiser on the whole thing. And you have to designate its place. Like we know, you say this is the north, this is the south, etc., etc. So we see designation works. That's not Bato. Once you designate something and you say, oh, it's here on the south side of the dough, so then it's not Bato. That Tevel is not Bato and the rest of it. So same thing by Roshem, it's the same idea. You're designating a specific side, which is already Challah, and a side which is already Tevel, which is still Tevel. It's not considered to be a Talevis anymore. It's not Bato, right? So that's what it is. So that's you have to designate north, south, etc. Lays the Dora Messiah. What do you do? Why you Messiah it? Is Lokadei. It should be really everybody changed the rest. Really the Pnei Moshe Grod the Yerushalmi. Lokadei Shaloi Vatel Barov. So now it's not about the Barov. Yeah. Rabbi Yitzchak, Rabbi Yitzchak says the he says differently. No, that really Tevel is not Botabro. So why do you have to designate a place for the Trumas Meiser? The Meiser Trumas Meiser. So you shouldn't be saying like that the Truma of this Kri of this well, let me do it again. Shloya Omer Chumas Kri is Hazeh Vizeh Bizeh. In other words, he's trying to say even Rabbi Yochanan Tevel's not Bata Barov, so the Chodesh shouldn't have to say north, south, etc. He says no, you still have to say it because otherwise it's similar. It's not the same thing, obviously. Saying that okay, the Truma of this Kri and the Truma of that Kri should both be here without designating it. Now we don't know which Truma goes with which Kri, and it's not considered to be it basically is lacking designation. So therefore, in order to be considered hafrosha, has to have designation. So Trumas Kri Zeh Hazeh V'Zeh B'Zeh, the Truma of the Kri 1 and Truma Kri 2 are both in Kri 1. That's a problem of it's not a hafrosha brura. It's not a distinct hafrosha. So it's not dafka that we're doing it because Teva would be Batabrov. No, it could be Teva's not be Batabrov. But the definition of hafrosha means that you have to can't just say, oh, it's over the truma of this one, truma of that one, it's also over here. Both over here, you have to designate and be specific. That's otherwise it doesn't have the chalei shem hafrosha, which you need in order to make it truly a hafrosha's truma. What I have here in the side Gemara wrote that it shouldn't be like saying two trumos of two Karen are in this one Kri without being Messiah, which is which. So here too, you're not going to be Messiah, which is Truma, which is Trumas Meiser, so it's not going to be for a valid Hafrosha. So therefore, it's not it could be as like I just said, Rabbi Yochanan Tevel is not but the Barov, but it's a separate issue here. They have to have a definitive Hafrosha. Okay, Rabbi Yochanan Amar. Skip, sorry. Chazar Rabbi Yitzchak Rabbi Elazar Amar Lo Marakum. Yitzchak Rabbi Elazar is reneged. He said, you know what? I can't say that the place is that the issue is Shlomo Omar Komer Chumas Kri Zeh V'Zeh B'Zeh. Below Rabbi Yochanan, Lo Yochanan Amar Chumas Kri Zeh V'Zeh B'Zeh. Stop middle sentence. Sorry. Below Rabbi Yochanan Amar Chumas Kri Zeh V'Zeh B'Zeh. Rabbi Yochanan Amar Mokashit Ma Chuma So Sharishon Nistaima Chuma So Shilsheni. So Rabbi Yochanan holds when you have two crime of Tevel, you say one of them, the Truma of this Kri should be in the north, and the Truma of the second one should be in the first one. It wasn't Messiah Mokum of the second one. Nevertheless, we say Mistama as Das was to be Kovel or Mokum next to the first Truma. So therefore, you don't have to, as long as you designated one, you don't have to designate the other. So therefore, this you have to say that which you Messiah Mokum in the Mishnah Mai is not because you need to have a Kriyas Mokum, but it shouldn't be Bata Brov, and it's right to Lakish. So in other words, saying, according to Rabbi Yochanan, you don't have, once you are Messiah one, and I guess I really should have pointed this out before, and I wasn't thinking about it. It didn't strike me. But when we said the issue of truma, the issue was that which really Rabbi Yitzchak Ben Elazar is saying is that you shouldn't see Omer Trumas Kriya was that. That's why you have to specify where both of them are. And then the Gemara says, no, you don't have to specify both of them. You only have to specify one of them. The other one, even didn't specify, it's automatically considered to be in the right next to the other one. So if we have a case where it says that in the Mishnah and the Mai, that you have to Messiah both of them. You have to say, okay, the Truma is right here, and the Trumas Mais is over there, and this is in the north, and that's in the south, or whatever. You have to Messiah both. So then that's right against Rabbi Yochanan. Because it must be because you want to prevent Tevel being Bata Barov. Because if it's only on account of a proper Afrasha, once one is designated, the other one is automatically assumed to be right next to it. This is both against they're both Truma. One is the Truma, one is Trumas Meiser. Wouldn't be any issue mixing together two things which shouldn't be mixed together. So therefore, if it says you have to designate both the Truma and the Trumas Meiser, it's not because otherwise it's going to be out of Frasha. Because he who Rabbi Yochanan holds Trumas Kri Zeh V'Zeh B'Zeh works. You only as long as you designate the first one. You don't have to designate the second one. If you say you have to designate the second one as well, it must be because otherwise it would be Tevel Bata Barov, and that would be a problem. So that's why that's like Roshem, saying let it not be Batel because it's set aside and designated by my direction, by giving a direction. Okay, so we continue with a similar case to the front Tosefta and Trumas, Parakeh. Lagat Las. You gather, you harvested last a gourd. The osmarvish love holech. To be marvish truma from it on other diluin. Hareza locate uba v'roshem. You can when you designate part of it last. Locate uba means to designate part of it. You have to write down, make a mark, and then locate Adkan Truma, Adkan Truma. Until now it's Truma the first time, until Truma the second time. Divrei Rebbe. Shingle Omer, Shingle says, Lokin Mechashev Kemos Shul Lamud. He said, the Shingle argues, he holds, he don't have to be Roshem. You estimate. You don't make markings. Boy, man, I wanted to say, man, I can't truma, the one says you have to designate, you have to be Roshem. He's the one who holds Tevel Bata Barov. So therefore, in order that Tevel shouldn't be Bata Barov, you mark off, you say, demark it, Akan Truma, and here's Tevel, and then never the twain shall meet, so they can't be bitlicious. Madamar Mechashib, locate Mechashib Kamoshu, one who says you can estimate Kamoshu Laman as he normally does, ain't a Tevel Bata Barov, he holds Tevel's not Bata Barov. So Machlekas, Rabbi Yochanan Shimon Lakish, really Machlekas Tanoim, between Rabbi and Shimon Gamliel. Amar Ibarov said, no, everybody holds that Tevel's not Bata Barov. Kidei shelo yezoku litain l'shevet beinehen. So he says that why would you be Roshem? Because if a Kohen comes, you have to give him whatever you separated. That's actually and to tell you whatever you separated, so therefore you have to be Roshem. The other man says Mechashe Belibo holds you don't have to give to a Kohen, you don't have to give a Kohen anything until the entire glass is becomes completely truma. So interesting. It's interesting chiddush, right? Because the Kohen comes, we have to give him truma, but that's what he's saying that you have to give it to the shevet in the interim. Perhaps you have some other extenuating reason you have to give the shevet, maybe because it's going to spoil, and therefore you want to say, okay, Adkan I have to give to the shevet, and the rest of it I can keep to myself, and I'll cook it myself, and the other man that holds, you're just going to give it at the end anyway, so therefore You're willing to take your chances. I'm not sure exactly, but because obviously a Kohen can't come and demand his lots. I can always say, give it to another Kohen. I'm waiting till tomorrow. But somehow or another, the moment Shevet is the issue. So I see the article asks a question. He says in footnote 10, he says, "Loch you the even matnas kahuna, which a person sets aside, have to are shy to the kohanim. The Bible have the schus to give it to whatever kohen they want. So why would you have to give it in the interim to a kohen who comes along? It's hard to say. Maybe you argue that principle. So he brings down here from from Reb Chaim, from the Derech Hamuna. He says that it's a case where he's rugged to give his matanos normally to a specific kohen, Makir Kuna. And that kohen might come along and demand it, and he has the right to demand it. The argument says, no, you can see, eventually you have to give it to him because it's Makir Kuna, but you can wait until the end. Okay? There's other answers here, but like I said, I'm not sure what has to come out to the different answers. I see the Gra changed the Girsa. Says not Kadesh Zokali Ten Shem Benem, but rather Kadesh Yochali Ten Shem Benem. That's more in line with what they were saying. In other words, in order to have the capability, when a Kohen comes along and saying, "Oh, this is precisely what comes to you, take it, have fun." No, he's muchar to give it in, but he wants to give it in. Supposed to be he's doing, but Oimer Adas, so then what he normally does, so then he won't be able to. It's not ready to be given. Okay. In any event, that's the issue here. So now it goes on and says, Haya tzorach litrom arba chamesh chavios. Haya tzorach litrom arba chamesh chavios min abor. There's a Tosefta in Chumas, okay. A person has set aside 4 or 5 barrels of wine for Truma on the board. So Rabbi Shimon Gamliel holds that you take barrel by barrel, and you call each one of them chumas comes up. It says here, in a bar malas, we should not be a bar when I raise a chuma. You take them all up on the rim of the bar. Elu chuma. So they have boy maybe the one that say man demar male. It should say instead of Rishona, everybody changed the gears to Mala is Kulan al Pia Bor. That you want to, we have to put all of them al Pia Bor and then set them aside is Hateva Batel Barov. He says that Teva is Batel. So if you're going to take one and make a truma on part of the Teva and the Bor, eventually, and then another one, eventually, there's going to be 2 little Tevel there, and it's going to be Batel Barov of the Chulin. And the other man, Domar, says, Mandamar Male as Harishoina, I'll be a Bor and Batel Barov. So, interesting way of setting up the Machlekes. So, the Gemara says, and again, it doesn't matter that you're setting aside, you're masaking little by little by little, because whatever is Teva left is never not going to be bottled anyway. So then the Gemara says, Avo said, Hekif Beineon. No, there's a different issue here. The question is, what's considered to be min hamukaf. So Mandamar Malakun al Piabor, Torah min hamukaf considers this to be Torah min hamukaf. It's also mukaf, even though all your trumas are on the rim, and the tables in the bor. So min hamukaf. Mandamar Malakun Shoina al Piabor. He says that you do one by one. So he says interesting. Don't do it on the rim of the board because that's not going to mukaf. Do it as you're raising out of the board, and I guess it's not practical to raise more than one at a time. So therefore, as you're raising from the board, it's raised separate, but still inside the board partially. So then be korashem, and that's what makes it mukaf. Okay, fascinating. The story goes on with the issue of mukaf here, but we are already pretty far on Lamed Zayin now, so I guess we'll stop here for today. and continue with it tomorrow. Here's Hashem.